Before I get into this completely unplanned and unscripted video, so strap yourselves in, it could be a bumpy ride. For those who don't know, I started this incredibly unsuccessful YouTube channel a few years ago because I've been posting short videos to Facebook and some of my friends found them amusing. So they said, why not start a YouTube channel? The name Disgruntled Danny, I didn't come up with that. And although I have my angry shouty videos, for the most part, I'm trying to be light-hearted. I'm hoping that you, the viewer, occasionally have a laugh. If nothing more than thinking, at least I'm not the people that Danny's talking about. At least I'm not married to a sex doll. I'm not breaking down in tears because someone used a pronoun I don't like. At least I'm not that bald fucker walking around a nature reserve recording himself. But today, I've been going through the news trying to find something amusing and there is nothing. At the minute, the world has gone to shit. So, instead I'll do something I haven't done for a while. I'll share something from my life and hopefully we can have a laugh at it. I did something which in 2023 many people would consider insane. I went onto social media, Facebook to be exact, and I shared an opinion. I know, that is playing with fucking fire, because we know how social media works. It's so divisive. For example, if someone went onto Facebook and asked the question, what's your favourite type of tea? If in the comments someone said, actually, I prefer coffee, we know people will pile on saying, are you suggesting that all tea drinkers should be put to death, you fascist? Are you not aware that most coffee is grown in third world countries? You support slavery. Do you know who else enjoyed coffee? Hitler! And the thing I put on Facebook related to the last video I posted on YouTube. On the 10th of October, I posted a video about Real Women's Day. And if you've not seen the video, don't worry, you're missing out on nothing. But essentially, Real Women's Day was an online event organised by a women's rights activist called Riley Gaines, and it was designed to be an event that couldn't be hijacked by the trans movement. Now, I want to be clear, I do not consider myself a transphobe. A phobia is an irrational fear. I don't fear trans people, nor do I hate trans people. But I don't support the trans rights movement. Firstly, because I think it's so bad at policing itself. There's so much misogyny and violence towards actual women. And secondly, I won't support something that demands I deny reality. Something I find really strange is when there are women who are really militantly behind the trans rights movement, particularly the rights of trans women, because first of all, I will challenge anyone to tell me what rights trans people don't have that the rest of us do. And secondly, and to any women watching, I'm sorry if I sound sexist like I'm doing good old-fashioned 2016 mansplaining. Where do you think trans women's rights are being taken from? They're not being taken from me. Men like me aren't calling you chest feeders or uterus owners. Men like me aren't demanding to use your spaces. In fact, when I see very angry women defending trans women's rights, it puts me in mind of a group of chickens demanding that foxes be given better access to the hen house. So this is the actual post. To all my female friends, happy Real Women's Day, hashtag Real Women's Day. What a provocative bastard. A man wishing women a good day. But I did this on Facebook, and if you're on Facebook, I'm sure you have some friends who you've never met. You just have mutual acquaintances, or maybe it's someone you met once on a night out. And after you add them on Facebook, immediately you start thinking, what the fuck have I done? This person is so opinionated, so arrogant, so outspoken. But the issue is I'm English, so I can't unfriend anyone, because that would be impolite. And if you're watching this from outside the UK, us British people, we could go to a restaurant and the waiter could bring over a bowl of soup and say, I've pissed in that and laced it with cyanide. And us Brits would go, that's absolutely fine, I wasn't that hungry. What I do is I just unfollow them. They're what I call my birthday friends, because they only pop up in my newsfeed on their birthday. To which I say, happy birthday, whatever your name is, and they're done for another 12 months. I also have Facebook friends, I'm sure you do too, who never comment on anything you post. It doesn't matter if it's your wedding anniversary, if you've just got back from holiday, if you finally quit heroin. They don't care. until you post something they don't like. Then they are in your comments quicker than a pervert or a prostitute. And this is when the birthday friends usually come out to play as well, because you've written something they don't like. Now for me, if I'm on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and I see something I don't agree with, to slightly embellish Limp Bizkit, I keep on scrolling, baby. But these people are incapable of doing so. They have to share their opinion and explain why you, or in this case, I, am wrong. So someone commented, is this the anti-trans thing? And I didn't reply, I let it go, because to me, being pro-female is not anti-trans. Yet another friend of mine decided to comment on my behalf, saying that it is anti-trans, but the chances are I didn't know it. Now the thing is, if I post something online, I'm usually very sure of it. So I explained, I don't equate being pro-female with anti-trans. And inadvertently lit the blue touch paper. Because my friend replied, and generally we get on, we clash on a few things, but she replied, don't you think trans women are women? And to be honest, no, I don't. That's fact, that's truth. If trans women were women, they wouldn't need the word trans. And of course the TQ cult love to manipulate language. That's why they call actual women cis women, because that way you have cis women and trans women, but they're both women. No, they aren't. So I asked a very provocative question, or a loaded question. What is a woman? Apparently that question is transphobic, and I guess that's because there's a documentary, an excellent documentary, called What is a Woman, presented by the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh. Now, I'll say here, I disagree with over half of what Matt Walsh says online. I don't feel the need to challenge him. I respect that's his opinion. Also, why would he give a fuck about anything I have to say? But that question, what is a woman? On BBC Radio 4, which is not known for being a militant organisation, on the programme Woman's Hour, coming up to the last regional elections in the UK, the presenter was asking all of the listeners, myself included, that if a candidate knocks on the door, ask that one question, what is a woman? To see if they'd actually answer it. Would people wanting to be elected actually state that a woman, is an adult human female? Until very recently, that was the dictionary definition. A woman is an adult human female. But now some dictionaries have updated it to include anyone who identifies as a woman, lest they get cancelled by the mob. Oddly though, the same thing doesn't apply to men. In the same way that in the US, some universities define gay men as men who are attracted to men, but define lesbians as a non-man who's attracted to non-men, which is fucking nonsensical. Because that means anything that isn't a man that's attracted to something else is by definition a lesbian. So, bees getting pollen. Bees and pollen are lesbians. Magnets are lesbians. The tides. The sea is attracted to the moon. The moon and the seas are now lesbians. So in this Facebook conversation, thus far, what have I said that's transphobic? Happy Real Women's Day. I don't equate being pro-female with anti-trans, and what is a woman? Yet, things were about to change, because we all have that one Facebook friend. And this is one of my Facebook birthday friends. I don't follow her, and she's also no longer a friend, who we dread weighing in. The opinion has landed. This is a woman who is very opinionated. Almost every group she's in on Facebook has received a ban at some point due to her. When the Brexit referendum happened, and it transpired that Britain was going to leave the EU, she called everyone who voted to leave the EU a Nazi. Now, she works in education, there's a fucking shock, and doesn't actually live in the UK. She teaches on the continent, so her outrage was more that as the value of the pound dropped, she would get paid less. A proud Brit who's not quite proud enough to fucking live here. She wrote me, I won't say a reply, it was more of a book, beginning with the words, fuck you. So, an intellectual and thought out response. So, after the initial fuck you, she wrote, I stand proud with my trans sisters. And to be honest, I don't know what she wrote after that, because it looked like she spent a good 15 or 20 minutes pouring out all of her hatred. But a guilty pleasure of mine is if someone tries to give me a really good slagging on the internet, and if it's on my page, I love to just delete that comment to show your opinion is so worthless to me I couldn't be bothered to read it. And then it occurred to me, if I go to the first comment where this conversation starts, is this transphobic, and delete that, the entire conversation disappears. So I'm just left with a few positive comments, and importantly, in the reactions, where I've just said to my female friends, Happy Real Women's Day, there's a few people who aren't friends with me on Facebook who've reacted angrily, making them look like misogynistic twats. Because if you don't like my YouTube channel, don't fucking watch it. If you don't like my opinions on Facebook, please just scroll past it. Unfriend me, whatever, but please no. Few things give me more pleasure than knowing I've triggered some half-wit who can't wait to show how bloody woke they are. Everyone else, as ever, thanks for watching. Shit, that was a bad video.